be home with me once upon a December. Read what it says.
Together in Paris.
Welcome back. I hope you put your guesses in for this movie. The movie from the last video was Anastasia. This movie I feel like was a classic old school childhood movie because everyone I know had seen Anastasia when they were a kid. It was just certain parts that like set out to you, and the songs, like rewatching it now, like the songs still killed. All the songs are like bangers, and I was like, oh my goodness. And so I will definitely say that this movie has held up. It gets 2 thumbs up, thebomb.com. When I was younger and watched this movie, I was always a little bit scared of Rasputin, and I was like, he's actually like, just actually watching him this time around, he wasn't even really that scary. So I don't know what I thought as a kid, but he kind of scared me a little bit, but I don't know why. But there were just so many like little details I noticed. And when I was watching this movie, one thing that I think is really cool is how advanced like animations are nowadays compared to how it was back then, because I think this movie came out in like the 90s, and just watching this movie, like you can see the animators, they animate the main characters, but if you look at the background, like it's more just like paintings, like it's not even like people, they aren't moving, they're just like there. And I was like, oh, so it's kind of cool because you would never see that nowadays. And so it's just seeing like where we started to like where we're coming, and I think that's really interesting. One cool thing I never noticed until I watched it this time around is the part of the movie where they're at the opera trying to meet the grandmother. That way she can see if Anastasia is actually her granddaughter, or Anya, so she can see if Anya is actually her granddaughter. But when they're at the play, like they're doing Cinderella. So I was watching this time around, and I was like, that's so kind of cool, like Cinderella. Like you see the whole shoe thing, you see the like evil stepsisters and her cleaning. Like I just never put that together, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I thought that that was really cool. It was just a lot of like cool things. I really like Dimitri. I think he was always one of the cartoon characters when you're a kid, and you know you have crushes on cartoon characters. He was one of mine, and I think what I have realized is he reminds me a lot of Chris Pine. Like, here's Dimitri, here's Chris Pine. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think that they look alike. I think that they kind of, like, even their voices when they talk, I was like, okay, I can kind of see it. But I always thought that they kind of looked alike, especially when Chris Pine was younger and, like, did not have facial hair. Like, I think he always reminded me of Dimitri and just how he sounds and everything. And so watching it, like, I couldn't get that out of my head. I was like, oh my goodness, that's who it is. But just the songs and just the story in itself, too. Like, you start off with Dimitri, like, saving the Anya and the grandmother back in the day, and because Rasputin is trying to kill them, and then coming to present day, how he's kind of become like a con man, and just watching him grow and develop through the movie and actually learn to care about Anya and walk away from the money. Like, he's just happy that she found her family and that she's happy, and that was enough of a reward for him. And I thought that was like extra romantic and just so sweet, and it was just, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I thought it was funny too. Like, there were just so many good parts in re-experiencing this movie. Let me know if you've seen this movie recently, what you thought, if you thought it held up, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.